So you want to become a back-end developer in 2024? You reached the right video. Let me explain. This video was brought to you by DigiLink Academy, your #1 source to learning programming fast and get to that 6-figure salary you desire. Our 30-day project course includes our JavaScript front-end projects, our Python back-end projects, our SQL database projects, and much, much more. So go ahead and click the link below to our free 7-step guide so that you can start reaching your programming goals today. I'll see you guys in the course. All right, guys, let's jump right into this and I'll give you the high-level quick answer before we jump into details. How to become a back-end software developer in 2024 is actually a different answer than what you think. First of all, everybody got the correct programming skills. If you got a top 10 programming language that you kind of know how it works and you know how to navigate around it, you know how to create program, you're gonna be in the right shape. When it comes to PHP, it's Python, C, C++, any of those, just to say you got one of those basic programming languages, you know how to navigate the database and you know a little bit about a front end. I'm not asking you to be a great UI designer, but you know how to identify elements and troubleshoot things. You are going to be in a good position. But you guys want to know, hey, how do I become a software developer? But before we get our back-end software developer, before we get started, guys, put a comment below about your journey to become a software developer so far. Have you had success? What have you been struggling with? Do you have a roadmap? Put the details to that in the comment section. Want to start to go have a conversation with you guys about that, so go ahead and do that. But at the end of the day, guys, I always start with, hey, let's make sure you can learn you learn the fundamentals of software development. You know how to read code, you know what it's doing, you know the syntax, you know all the details, and you know how to just troubleshoot the different areas. If you don't, most of online got great resources on how to start programming. We don't get into that here on my channel. We do a little of that in my academy, but as far as just YouTube free resources, you can just do a basic Google search on, or I would say YouTube search on how to become a developer and kind of go from there. Well, you may ask, hey Rod, which programming language should I actually learn? That's a good question. You got two approaches here, guys. You got when you're actually learning how to code and what it's gonna actually take to get a job. Most of the time, jobs are looking for more enterprise level programming languages, the C sharps, C, C++, and Java. They obviously use Python and all that stuff too, but most enterprise languages is gonna be leveraging those, especially for general businesses. Well, if you're first trying to become a developer, I wouldn't necessarily, me personally, suggest those to be the first one you learn, only because the learning curve. It's a little tougher and it can be intimidating. And I want you guys to get some quick wins early to build your confidence. So if I am becoming a software developer, I would actually learn something like a PHP, a JavaScript, or a Python. Even since we're talking specifically about backend, I would just go with Python or either PHP. Those would be the two I would recommend because you can find a ton of resources online about that. You can go on Google or go on YouTube and type, hey, learn how to code with PHP or with Python. You can find a lot of resources on that, guys, just to learn the fundamentals. Just create a basic computer or app on your computer to just do basic functionality, only so that you can kind of learn, get a little toe in the water on that stuff and get some quick wins. And then I would go into how to learn how to read existing coding just to find out what it does, because it's just like anything else. Once you start reading other people's code and how they go about doing it, you start to see the patterns and the trends, and you'll have that muscle memory. And then the same apply. Once you've kind of done that for PHP or Python, you're going to transition those skills over to an enterprise level language like a C or a C++, C Sharp, Java. where the setup is a little different, but the fundamentals are the same. You're gonna have to do a little bit more to kind of get that program to do similar things with PHP and Python. That's why I like to start with those. And having multiple languages is good. Again, you want to have your primary focus language that you kind of leverage. That's usually going to be the one that the company that you are working for, their primary language, or in your industry or whoever you're doing contract work for, whoever their primary language, that's the one you ultimately need to learn. So at the end of the day, guys, we got to really kind of see how we can separate ourselves out to become the developer. We'll have more details about the different areas on how to become a developer. I can't cover everything in this video. What I can do though is I got links below to my 7-step guide. It's going to help you guys really go through those 7 steps to become a back-end developer, put you in a position to win there. And if you already signed up for my 7-step guide, we have premium courses below as well that's going to really get you where you need to be in 30 days so that you can become a developer. And another point I want to make, guys, is a lot of you guys think, hey Rod, I'm not that technically savvy. I'm coming from being a teacher, or I'm coming from being a business analyst or something that's not a traditional IT professional, which is okay. I'm not saying that it's impossible to become a developer. All I'm saying is it starts and ends with the projects. If you don't have the projects on hand, you're not gonna win unless you know somebody. Yeah. And I don't even want to use that one as an example. The people who know somebody who got an aunt, uncle, or whoever in the company, we're gonna put those to the side because most of us don't have those level of resources, especially in a tech company or a business. So we have to put ourselves in a position as the average Joe who don't have the internal connections. And if that's the case for you, you got to be able to stand out, and projects are going to do that for you guys. But at the end of the day, if you don't get those projects right, you might as well not even try to become a developer, because you're going to learn everything about a programming language. You're going to walk into that interview and they're going to like, okay, what have you done? What type of work have you done? What type of experiences you got? And then you're going to be looking lost. So you want to go into that job interview. You want to work on projects. And we cover all that in the 7-step guide and my 30-day courses, guys, the type of projects that's going to move the needle for that business. When it comes to user onboarding, automation, algorithms, blockchain, all that good stuff, you have to know specifically what type of projects that company's needing so that you can get to that next level. But at the end of the day, if you're not willing to at least start the process, you're going to struggle. So at the end of the day, guys, don't want to keep iterating the same points, but what I want you to take away from this is start from the basics, guys. It's not as hard as you think. You just got to present your value in a way that actually stands out from all the other coding monkeys out there who just providing code and not providing solutions. That's where it's going to help you stand out. That's where it's going to put you in position to win, and you can become a successful back-end developer. And the good news is back-end development, even though it's competitive, but it's not as competitive at front end. If you're trying to go get a JavaScript job, it's way harder than what you're trying to do in the back-end job. So you're in the right spot. You just need to go ahead and take that next step to actually get started. And the next step is go ahead and click on this link that I'm putting on the screen here to the 7-step guide. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.